Hey there folks, and welcome to the next 155 mile per hour Cup Tryouts. In this tryouts I am doing the Lexus RCF Grade 4. So here's the parts and things you can do to the Lexus RCF Grade 4, in which I'll just say technically not much, but if you want to know, you could add at least a turbo in case you want to make this faster. I will note for the Cup series it did not need a turbo at all, so it's going to stay as an NA for this setup right here. So technically not bad. And also, yeah, but the fact it's it's a luxurious Toyota, and the luxurious Toyota has a V8. Because yeah, this is the case where the V8 started shining more for Toyota technically, but Lexus more importantly. So yeah, they decided to make a Grade 4, and it's RCF. Like the other one's like LC500 or something like that. But as such, I'm not very familiar with Lexus, so I try to bear in mind what to say about them at the end there. But yeah, as the glimpse I tossed you there, no engine swap though as of yet. But you can change the rims though, as you got these, I gotta say, really nice snowflake styles. This actually tells me what to do to this car in the future, because I will say I had no idea what vinyl design to do to this car on top of it. So I kinda just left it as checking point drain as possible. Probably should have got the orange one instead of the gray one, but it is what it is sometimes when it comes to design, because sometimes my mind just ain't there in design, and I like to try to make a design for each car before I send them off. But for this case, I just decided to go with the stock purposes of the design and such. I will say, if you go into the design anyways, you can of course change the headlights to yellow if you like the yellow ones better, which I gotta admit, I probably should have stuck with the yellows, but it is what it is sometimes. Now for the tune setup, I think I might adjust the suspension a little bit. Or everything else is technically kind of just plain Jane with this one. Because yeah, it's kind of just very tame, and as the saying goes, it did not need a turbo at all. You could slap a mid-turbo RPM and a high turbo RPM, but it really does not need it, as of where it stands. Yeah, I'd say power restrictor is down to 73 as a result. So it's technically, I would say, a bit higher than most other cars that would have a turbo otherwise. And then the transmission, as you can see there, it has 7 gears. So yeah, you have 7 gears with this car. So it's pretty crazy for the most part on that part, on that tune setup. Yeah, so make sure to pause it, check out, or try to copy that tune setup as much as you can. This thing goes. Yeah, weight balance of 54 to 46. Technically not bad, but a little front heavy done in that case. What that tells me. And plus also weighing like 3,000 pounds. That's a bit heavy for the most part. 3,086 pounds to be exact. But yeah, overall the Lexus RCF Grade 4. This is the car I was referring to when I did the C7 Grade 4 back then. This car is like technically just a higher stance upon the C7 Corvette, even though it's a heavy car, even though it's a coupe design, and even though by air to max you wouldn't think this be that much better compared to the Corvette C7, but it very much is. I don't know what's just that better, or something else happened in among the brewing of the C7 at the end of the day, because sometimes I always wonder there was like a big old plus design when it comes to C7 for some reason. Consider how substandard it is compared to the other Cs for some reason to me. I don't know why, but C7's always been that weakest link to me when it comes to Corvettes. Just very, very weird. That's very weird in that regards. I mean, the other weakest link was C3, but it's not as bad as C3. It's just more like a, it's there, but it's not a meh. It's a little bit higher than that. It's like okay for a standard car. But the RCF though, kind of just wants to flop up Mazda 4 with the C7 Corvette at the end of the day, though. It's just a bit higher in some regards, while being very front heavy. So in other words, yes, the tires will burn most in the front. But as you can see, for the acceleration side of things, it's pretty good for the most part, I gotta say. And also, yeah, having a 7-speed, it's gonna constantly keep into the gear ratios of the performance at the end of the day. Does it really kind of need 7 gears? Technically not. I kind of do debate between 6 to 7 on the gears. I mean, but to say though, if there's ever an 8-speed, it'd be kind of interesting story to brew in that case. But yeah, other to say, where the Lexus RCF stands with me as it hits about, let's see, 114 miles per hour on that straightaway there. I kind of say for the acceleration, I would say a 7 out of 10 for the most part. That seems a bit substandard. While the turning side, I would say maybe a 6 out of 10. It's kind of, because of the nose heavy, it is kind of a bit of a rough thing to turn sometimes. Matter of fact, it's kind of unpredictable if you're going to get that leeway of the turn or not sometimes. Because yeah, as you can see, the time I did for the tune setup was like 108.08. I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of a gold lap when I did that time. So we'll see how technically worse it is. Because I'll just say that in a bit of sport, it is technically worse than what was the 108.080. I think is what it was for tune setup. But yeah, overall, the Lexus RCF, I do find it a bit superior to that of the Corvette C7 in some regards. Especially, I will say, I also did a new setup or a way to determine how good these cars are against each other. Because I will be talking about that when we get to the end portion, because I think that's the best way to talk about that portion. But yeah, as in terms of the times, as of where it stands right now, hitting a 108.297, however, a 108.4. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, because yeah, just say that was the best lap you just saw there, the 108.279. Because yeah, I will say I did do a change, and that was the. I might as well just show the best lap at the end of the day, if it did the best lap right there or not. Because yeah, there's a case where I get the best lap right then there, and it just never wants to do it ever again. But yeah, this is one of those cars that I just never want to do better than that after that. After those first 3 laps. Sadly. It is what it is sometimes when it comes to doing these time attacks, but if I just can't get the car to push any further, it just, that's as much as I'm gonna do, Captain. Bingo. But hitting 108.279, that puts it right just above the C7 Grade 4, matter of fact. The C7 Grade 4 hit 1.08.331. So, overall, just a tad bit quicker compared to the C7, and I can very much see that at the end of the day. It's not bad. Not bad for a luxurious car take upon Toyota. Even though I say luxurious loosely because this V8 is kind of special in regards to I get the feeling this is that motor that eventually what created the GR-GT at the end of it, besides the Lexus LFA in regards of design. Because yeah, the Lexus LFA design, but I think the motor is where this car derives from on that part. And I can't wait to see the GR-GT in the future, because that's going to be a very interesting machine. If this is that good, I wonder how good that is in regards for being, I assume, lighter coupe design, although this is also coupe design too, so it's really weird. I don't know, at best, the thing I love about the GR-GT, I will say, I love it got rid of the whole sedan style that this one had going on, because I gotta say, if you want to really hit me hard, do not do the sedan style, unless your name is Impreza or Lancer to me, or a Nissan Skyline. Those are technically fine, but something like this, I think this is just overabundance for sedans. It's not bad. It's just very straightforward. It's not really curvy. It's not really fair. It's just, well, I mean, it's there, but it's just kind of I don't know, maybe I might be hypocritical on that saying, but it just feels like there could be more, you know, because this is a luxurious coupe at the end of the day. And what I kind of expect is a kind of a, I hate to say this, the Coke bottle shape of a coupe design, because I'm not gonna lie, the most defining coupes to me is the Coke bottle design from that really hits hard. Like example, the 300Z or the heck, the Mitsubishi GTO or 3000 GT if you're US. That thing goes. Cause yeah, that's one part. That car has 2 names. But I still don't think this is a bad car though. This is still a fun car, all except for that grille though. Oh my god, that grille in the front. It just, oof, for the most part, as the thing goes. But if there's any other issues I could say about the RCF, for being a front-heavy car, which is really shocking on that part, the biggest problem, well, besides what you just see there, unpredictable handling for one such, and two, you gotta be careful about it trying to rough out on you too, because it will loosen out. Even though as a front-heavy car, it will still try to loosen out on you. But yeah, I might as well just show the the problems of it when it turns sometimes. When it turns sometimes, it doesn't want to go for the 100% on that turn. Sometimes it wants to go for the 80% of that turn. What it feels like. So yeah, it's a bit of an understeering tad issue, I would say. And the only way I think that might be fixed is if you fix a little bit on the steering and maybe adjust the what's the best way to say it? Probably adjust the weight, maybe. That might help. Just a tad. Considering, just to say, where it burns mostly at is in the front. Not that such. But yeah, in terms of issues though, not really the greatest. But I will mention the gas burn in the tire burn here, which I will say is now very different though. Because instead of Argonoid when I did this test on, I did this at the Dragon Trail, I can't remember what it's technically called, but it's not the seaside, it's the other one, the garden. I think it's called Dragon Garden or something like that. But over there on that track, I did 16 laps of an endurance race, and now I'm doing that as a mainstay test for each of these cars. Because, for example, where's the, because I know I have the, yeah, the Scirocco Grade 4, I recently just retested that. It has a tire burn at 1/16 of a gas burn of a 1/8 at the lap of 8/16. The RCF has seven laps, and when I say 7 laps of 16, I mean 7 laps in. So, not 6 laps. So, an entire burn of 1/16, and then gas of 2 out knives. 2 out knives, because it's one in the case of the knives. On a lean of 1, yeah, because I gotta mention the lean too, because I think for the Scirocco I did a lean of, I might have did a lean of 2 for that one. But to say though, in terms of the times though, this is where it kind of hurts the most. The Scirocco hit 28 minutes, 36 seconds, while the Lexus RCF hit about 28 minutes, 59 seconds. I had to pit 2 times for that car too on top of it, unfortunately, because yeah, if it doesn't pass that 8 lap mark, you could definitely tell it's gonna pit twice. Yeah, so now talking about time once again, because I did saw that time there, which was 1:31.887. That time places it at faster than the Scirocco Grade 4, I will say. Although, this is before the Scirocco gets rebalanced, so I'm kind of curious what the Scirocco does now, but it does beat the C7 Grade 4 once again. As it only did it with a minute 31.939. Because, yeah, like I said, this car overall is just above average over the C7. That's kind of crazy, because again, speaking of design, I was like, this straightforward design is lacking, but the C7 has got the design I want, but the problem is that lacks, though, so I don't know what's really the best saying for that, because like I said, it's so hypocritical to talk about, but yeah, it's just weird, you know? It's like, look-wise, I like the C7 more. But performance-wise, the RCF just phenomenally does better in the balancing tuning I adjusted it to and such for this occasion. So it's a funny way. It's a funny way. If you like the C7, you like the C7, plain and simple. Because yeah, I will say, people don't usually buy the car for performance. They usually buy it for looks too. So if the C7's off short, that's technically fine because while the RCF is a fast car, the C7 beats it in terms of looks, though, I gotta admit. If there's one other thing about the RCF, you fit someone in the back seats. Because, yeah, I noticed this lately about coupe cars. They have back seats, but the problem is, can you fit someone back there, though? Because I noticed this one guy who's been doing testing for cars, like shooting cars, guy, for example. He did the back seats of the infamous Honda Prelude. And the Honda Prelude, oh god. Oh god. For a coupe car, you better have a kid in that back seat. I'll just say that much. Because, oh my god, those are bad. Those are horrendous. And then not only that, you got these nice stitched seats in the front. But in the back, you just have these plain Jane, mass-produced seats at the end of the day. I don't know what's the intention for the Honda Prelude at the end of the day, but for it being a CVT, or not CVT, but it's technically eCVT, because yeah, there is a difference on that. Because it's not pulley design, it's just straight up electric motor design, from what I heard. Which could be better, if the gears ain't limited on that matter, but we'll have to see when the Prelude ever comes to fruition, but for now, instead, the RCF's older brother gets to join the scene, because we get to see the Lexus, or, well, I don't know if it's a Lexus or not. No, if anything, I think it's just a Tom's. It's a Tom's. The Tom's Chaser's coming back, I'll just say that much. Tom's Chaser's coming back, and it also has its other alt version, which the other alt version, I assume, is the OG Toyota version of that Tom's, basically. Both in gentleman's speed at the end of the day, apparently. So, that's such. So that's pretty cool in the picture here. So while I'm driving and appreciating the RCF, because like I said, I do like the RCF. The RCF has a lot of things going on here. I don't know. At the end of the day, it just feels like I'm driving a BMW if it was better. Thus, I miss the BMW community. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like when I drive the RCF. The RCF does what the BMW doesn't. In regards, it even has the brake lights. If you notice, just right a little bit on that. It has a similar case of the brake lights to that. And then not only that, it feels like the BMW copied what the Lexus did at the end of the day with a big old front grille and gave it the big snot grille and everything else. It's just wow. But yeah, we hit 212.237 on that time though. But yeah, here is the events you could do, which technically you can't really do much, but for the race of turbo sports cars, if you just turn around and slap the turbo, you can basically go ahead and do that too. Okay, so I did do a hard check for the World Touring Car 600. I'm going to show the tournament. Don't ever do the tournament. The tournament's not worth it, period. Because I guess that got harder or something. But if anything you could do is the GT Cup Grade 4, because it can rebalance the car. World Touring Car 600 you could technically do with some tracks as long as it's a corner track. If it's not a corner track, don't do it. But yeah, I tried the tournament, just the first race there. No, not happening, Captain. But yeah, here's the track we're going to, though. Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Hopefully I said that right. Or is it Gilles Villeneuve? I think it's something like that. But yeah, to talk about more about that time, though, that is where the Corvette C7 beats the RCF, though. Because yeah, while the RCF has a bit more acceleration, the Corvette seems to have more speed, even though they're hitting the same top speed of 145 miles per hour in regards. So, overall, what I kind of think of the RCF is pretty good for the most part. It hits, I would say, in terms of the sprint, it definitely hits the, heck, I want to say pretty close. it, looking at Laguna's, I mean, look at Laguna's sector real quick again. Cause yeah, it beat the Shiraka right there alone, so that's very interesting regards. But it did not beat the Shiraka and Iger Nordman though. So, although if I was able to pull that 108, then it would. But sadly, it did not want to. So it's safe to say that the RCF will be less than the Scirocco on that matter, and especially reminder that Scirocco's time on Iger Nordman needs to be readjusted, and I got that cooking up pretty time soon here. Sadly, I just wasn't able to post it this week because of things. I had a lot of things to deal with this week and stuff, and I got even more things to deal with this week, so who knows if I get a third video or not for this bonus of the week. Sadly. So yeah, unfortunately no bonus video, but it is what it is sometimes. In that case, because I got other means to do, and if it so happens one topples another, then I had to deal with that such. But yeah. But that time there though, 212.3 for the Tokyo Expressway on RCF is slower than the Corvette C7, as the C7 hit 211.8. So by top speed, the Corvette is technically faster, but they both hit the same speed though. They both hit 145 miles per hour, which is what shocks me on that part. But I can kind of also see why, because the RCF, since it's more weightier, and I think the C7 has less horsepower if I recall. I think it's like 200 something or 280 or something. It would have more acceleration as a result of that, and not a whole lot, mind you, but enough to make a slight change to that at the end of the day. So that's where it gets interesting. But yeah, overall, just racing against sports cars once again, as we got the Civic crawling in the back there, and the Citroen DS3 Racing in the far back there. Because I know it's technically not Citroen, but I don't know, it's kind of weird, because DS and Citroen, they're owned by Charter, so it's like, and you know, French government, and, you know, just kind of weird. Because you also have the DS Pass, and look at that Fiat Fire doing the stoppy, good god. So weird when the AI drives the Fiat 500 here, because the fact he does that stoppy, and that is going to be a big old hindrance throughout the race. I'll just say that, for him doing that every time. And I'm not sure what caused him to do that. It feels like the car is literally getting grabbed from the under when it stops. The Jeep Renegade ain't built up that design, is it? Because I know Stellantis has Fiat and Dodge, so I always kind of wondered, is that the reason why the Renegade does a stoppie? Always kind of wonder about that. But we got the Renault Clio RS220 Trophy, probably the weirdest, slowest sports of a hatchback possible for some reason. It almost makes me think I should probably lower that, put that in pedestrian, but I'm not sure yet. Not really sure yet for the most part. And then you got the Alfa Romeo Giulia Sprint, which technically shouldn't be here by its base motor, but with the Honda K motor of the K24 motor of the Civic, we're good. As they go. And we got the BMW Sports Evolution, because you gotta do the DTM3s, so to say. So the 190E, the M3 Sport, and also the Ford Sierra RS. Yeah, RS500. Okay. Because strangely, I didn't want to say 500 because there's another RS5, or no, the RS200. I think that's the one. The Tim Allen Special. The super rally car, basically, that they did for Group B Ride, that was there during Group B Ride, but then got canned because of the massive incident that happened with Lancia, because Lancia thought they could go with less weight. I'll just say that. And that's going to be the biggest mark to their career period. Because I still can't believe they thought that was a good design for the Lancia Delta S4. Hey, let's put the gas tank right underneath the seat of the car. Lessen the weight so much that the armor is, or that the metal is so thin that all it'll take is a good old smack on the bottom for it to ignite and burn the two drivers, which by the way, pro drivers, to a smoldering heap. Because that's the Delta S4, everybody. And who knows if that car would ever come back to Gran Turismo. In respect, I kind of don't, because that's an infamous car to me. To me, that's kind of an infamous car. But I could see so many people who also kind of adore it too. It's just kind of weird. It's a weird case, because I'm sorry, if a car kills you, I don't want that car, period. But, though, and this is a weird but saying, sometimes the driver's skill could be the reason why it's bad too. So, you gotta think about that. But however, I consider Delta S4 a rare case on that because of its fragile design. Like I said, the metal was very weak as glass, and all it took was a good old... Here's another example. The Delta S4 couldn't be used in the Africa Rally because if it so happened to drive on that dirt terrain, if it rallied like no freaking tomorrow, which it does in Africa, they couldn't drive it on that dirt track at the end of the day because of that reason. So instead they used the older one, which was the... Goddamn, it's not Stratos. It's after Stratos. But basically that one. They had to use that one instead. Because that one was more reinforced. Where the S4 is like all or nothing. It's literally... The Delta S4 was literally the definition of glass can. On the set of four wheels. But that's the funny part. But yeah, as you can see here, I'm just strolling by with the RCF, just trying to get there as much as I can. I will say, this track is kind of tough though, because it's kind of a top speed track at the end of the day. But yeah, overall, what I kind of think of the Lexus RCF, except me talk about a different car. Because, like I said, I really don't know much about Lexus. Besides the RCF, which is not a bad car again. LC500, which is another one up here that's kind of based off the LFA a little bit. The more I look at the LC500 one. And I will say also a very good car too. Because, I mean, it's built upon the RCF. Because I will say the RCF is an old grade 4 too, by the way. It's not new. It's an old one. Because, as a matter of fact, the LC500 should replace the RCF by now, but they haven't did that yet. It makes me wonder they're not doing that because now the GR-GT is probably going to replace those such now. And also that'll be the first car that GR would add in this game. If, you know, when they can, because here's the thing, I think it's underneath the license agreement because of Forza Horizon. I mean, granted, Gran Turismo is not much better, but these license agreements, they just need to stop. Like, in general, it's stupid. I'm sorry. And that car is very fucking cool. It's just the problem is, it's only in prototype stages. I don't think it's not even in its production stages yet either, so here's the thing about that. But yeah, the Lexus RCF, I'd say by endurance reasons, I would say a B, because considering 7 to 16 laps there on that burn factor of what I previously mentioned, it's not the greatest. However, on the acceleration side, it's pretty good, and on the speed side, it's not bad either. I would say on the sprint side, it hits about an A because of how fast you can technically get around the track at the end of it. And that is a matter too. It's just the biggest matter, it will always be the endurance factor. If your car doesn't last that long on track, then it's not gonna do the greatest. I know it's freaking bitchy job. You're probably hearing on a minute, my bad. So there goes the 190E in the racing, or in the pits, as the saying goes. Yeah, trying to show every head cam as I possibly show before they go in the pits, but you know, it just happens. It just happens. Here comes the 190E coming back out though. Cause yeah, I will say I do like this track though, because they also finished the pit style, how the carts go in and out. So they don't, because in some of the other tracks you'll see, you go in the pit and you won't see the car be there at all, but it'll magically appear and just roll into the drivers at the end of the day, instead of just go along the lane and then turn it. This is one of those finished tracks on that design, which, like the Lord, it's just too bad they don't turn around and re-update those old tracks. Like example, Blue Moon Speedway needs an update like bad for a track. So if any track to rework on, I'd say that one for one of the start ones. Because it needs to have lights during the night. Because it's really weird why there's no lights during that track. Because if you want to see that, go look at one of my previous ones. I can't remember which one it was exactly, but okay, I do remember. It was the Jimny C. It could be Jimny Sierra or it could be the Jimny Swift. But yeah, check one of those and you'll see what I mean. Because during the night portion of that, there's no lights for that track. Just weird. Doesn't really make sense at all. But yeah, overall though, like again, I'll just say this: the Lexus RCF is a very fine machine, and I do love those snowflake rims. The snowflake rims look pretty good. That's basically what I call those rims, because there it has like the ends of the snowflake, it looks like, and such. I don't remember those rims on the CRRS, but yeah, we got the Jaguar E-Type Coupe trying to give chase, but I think he's about to run out of fuel there, as you see there. The Lexus RCF just strolling on by. Yeah, because the biggest fundamental thing about the Lexus RCF is that it has a very good survivability on the track at the end there at the 9 times tire, or 9 times fuel burn and 12 times tire burn at the end there. Like, that's what makes it, at the end of the day, beat these sports cars. And I say loosely on that because you're ready to shoot this next lap here. It gets kind of fun. Here we go. Got the top 8 contenders of it right now. Got the ES3 and 8 though. I'm surprised about that. Izzy's in the back. Got the Sprinter Truno being a little champ though. However, the Jaguar E-Type Coupe is going in the pit. That's sad. And the Sierra RS 500 taken for the second right now. Yep, just basically just stroll around with the Lexus RCF. But yeah, if I had to think of any rival that would kind of rival with the RCF though, I would say BMW, but BMW has the M6 or M4 or something like that for grade 4, and last thing I know of, that thing is really heavy, so so what the RCF, like I said, what the RCF does is what the BMW M4 don't. At the end of the day, especially I've seen many cases where the AI drives the M4, usually doesn't turn out so well. So I wonder when I ever get to the hands of driving that eventually. I will say not for this one though. That'll be till the GTX one. That is going to be a very interesting one because I had to do a lot of tweaks to that. We'll get to such. But yep, there we go to the last of the straights here. And yeah, you can just see the Sierra just crawling up, getting up to me here. It's very funny. But yeah, I just saw a see headlight like, oh, hi Sierra. Oh shit, they're coming quick. Got the Toyota Truno too, just giving chase. Because yeah, there was a funny case where the Jaguar E-Tech got pulled up by the Fiat 500. It was very funny shit. In regards. And then you got the Civic Q in 6 here too. Yeah, Jaguar had to go in 5th, so at least not for much. Just I think change fuel a little bit, or change tires maybe. Not really sure. I think it's just fuel because it is Jaguar. Jaguar's white. Then got the Sierra hitting 2nd, and sadly I closed this off too soon, so my bad here. But yeah, the Miata took 3rd, and the Truno took 4th. So that basically wraps up for this tryout. So I hope you like what you watched here. So tune in next time when I do the Mercedes 300 SL race car. the other bathtub on wheels, as it goes. Because yeah, it's 1950s cars. Most 50s are like bathtub design a little bit. But till then, folks, I'll see you guys all next time. You guys take care and ciao. I hope you like what you've seen here and take care, as always.